When I look at how we were brought up by our parents, they would go shaking things in front of us, in the ear, moving things like this, talking to you.
Yeah.
And children of nowadays, slightly they're not brought up the same way. They are brought up in apartments, in closed environments. They're exposed to a screen very early. So some of them even develop virtual autism in terms of they're just glued to the TV or to a screen somewhere. They just receive the info, but they don't talk.
Yeah.
So as a SENCO, the first thing that happens is stigmatization. So the minute a child has challenges or difficulties or whatever it is, depending on the context that you are in, it's the stigma that comes in. So that stigma now, it's now up to the SENCO now to try and, help the teacher, the parent, the student, the administration to get through it.
Hello there and welcome to the show. My name is Frida Wasonga and I am so happy to host the Parenting Conversations. This day I am here with a learning needs specialist who will be explaining to us some of the learning needs that are there and how to identify them as parents and also as teachers, and some of the measures to take when you notice that your child or your pupil as a teacher has one of these learning needs. Could be that you have noticed some gaps in your child as a parent or in a child that you're teaching as a teacher, and you would like to know how to go about it. So today, this and many more questions will be answered by our guest today. So let's dive in. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And let me know how you find this video on the comment section below. Before she introduces herself, I would like to say that I am shooting this video at Grace Hill Mission Church. It's a church in Kikuyu, Kiambu County, and here we believe that God writes beautiful stories. So help me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite our guest today. Welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Thank you very much. My name is Jacqueline Khanali. I am a teacher by profession, specifically dealing with learning challenges, or people can always call them difficulties or differences. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm working in the international school system. Yeah, and I'm here to discuss more about the learning challenges and needs that different children have.
So can you share some of the examples of learning needs or learning needs that we have in a school setting?
All right, thank you very much. Learning needs are wide, let me say that, because we have learning needs which come from probably you have changed systems.
Yeah.
In terms of you've come from like now here in Kenya, you've come from CBC, you're joining the international system, that is the British or American or vice versa, because of one reason or another, or you're changing countries, so that brings about some learning gaps, or you started school late, or you were put in the wrong class, depending on your age, because all the systems of education, they place children according to their age. So some systems you start learning when you're way older, others you start learning when you're way younger. So in terms of changing systems, you'll find that a child can have learning gaps. Okay. Then we have learning disabilities. Those ones are now the ones which are diagnosed by a psychoeducationist. In terms of, here we talk about autism, we talk about dyslexia, we talk about dyscalculia, we talk about dysgraphia, emotional challenges here and there, ADHD, there are quite a number.
So let's just discuss briefly some of those. Let's start with the learning needs, the learning gaps. Yeah, how do I identify that as a parent?
You look at the age of the child. There are those milestones that the child should hit. And then there are those year group expectations that a child should meet. For example, 0 to 2 years, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, like that. So when you have those year group expectations, so you start looking at your child against those expectations. You don't compare a child against other children. It's not advisable. You get stressed for nothing, because children bloom differently.
Yeah.
So if you have the year group expectations, you look at what the child should be able to do against the age or how your child is behaving.
Yeah.
So that will tell you whether there are gaps or not. And also it is important to have communication with the teacher that is handling your child, because they spend more time with them.
Yeah.
They're able to tell you where your child is in terms of academics, social, all those aspects. So it is important to have those conversations with the teacher that is handling your child, so that you get to know when things are not going on well, and you can always share, this is what is happening at home, this is what is happening in school. So how do we support each other? Because it is a triangle, it's not a one-man show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then when it comes to learning disabilities, those ones there's a process for them. Now, as a teacher, I am not allowed to label a child and say that this child is autistic. There's a process for that in terms of it's an observation you make over time. Okay?
Yeah.
So with those observations, that's when now you approach a psychoeducationist now to do those tests, because they have the diagnostic tools that they use to now say that child X has autism to this level, or child Y is ADHD, like this. This is what they are presenting in terms of their milestones and their growth development. Yeah.
So maybe to ask, how do I know as a parent, what signs will I see in my child just to get to know that they have autism?
Like I said, autism is a spectrum, so there are those signs, but again, it doesn't mean that when you see a child behaving that way, you should start getting scared.
Yeah.
So some
just
of them
a generalization.
will be, and then again, like I said, you observe them over time. It's not that, I've noticed this, we are autistic, this child is autistic. So you look out for things like eye contact. They will never, most of the time they have problems or challenges facing the person who is talking to them. So they either look away or look down, something like that. So they'll not have eye contact. They will have some repetitive behavior. They will be having some difficulty in terms of when there's a lot of noise. So you'll see them blocking their ears or something like that. Or you'll see them sort of like isolating themselves when you put them in a group of children, same age. So you realize that this one looks like they're in the group, but they're not really in the group. So if you look closely, you realize they either it's a solo play, but again, it depends. What is the age of that child? Because young children tend to be okay with playing solo. But if you notice that maybe at 5 years, 6 years, this is really happening
Over time.
probably it's now time to start looking at what am I missing, or what have I not noticed yet. You'll have there's a certain way they want things done. They are used to routines. So the minute there's a change in routine, then you realize the child is very disturbed. They are. It's like they want to fight. It's like they're very aggressive. Such things. And then some they don't have words, or rather the speech to express themselves. So you'll find that they'll use one word, but again, like I said, it goes with the age. So if they are at the age where you're expecting them to be expressing themselves, and then you realize they're pointing at things, they're using one word, or they are making sounds, then that is time now to start keeping a close eye on what is happening.
Okay. And the other one now is dyslexia.
Dyslexia.
Could you tell us what it is and what to look out for?
Basically, having trouble reading and comprehending. So the few cases that I've dealt with, by the time you realize that the child is dyslexic, before you even send them to that psychoeducationist, they will tell you that when I look at a text, I'm seeing the letters dancing, or they're moving up and down, or it's like they're moving closer and far. So at first you'll think it's an eye problem, but with time you realize it's not an eye problem. The child sort of tends now to get into panic, especially now with the age. They either panic or they look at a text. If it's a whole page, I don't know how to read. That is what they will tell you. Sometimes when they even know how to read, and they can read the word maybe in the first sentence, and it is repeated on the third sentence, and they tell you, I don't know how to read this word. So you're like, but it's the same word repeated in the first sentence. So that means there is something that needs to be addressed.
And with the comprehension bit?
The comprehension bit, because of that challenge of reading, so sometimes you now have to look for intervention measures to put in place to assist them. To assist them in terms of they can read and then they answer something, or they tell you what they have understood from what they have read. Sometimes it goes, if it's too much, you help them you read for them, and then you ask them the questions. That comes now when you're assessing or they're doing exams or something like that.
Yeah, to check whether they've understood what you have read.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now if you want them to read, you either give them more time or you support them in reading. So you tell them, I read one sentence, you read one, or you cover some part of the text so that they go pushing the paper down slowly by slowly, so that the text is not overwhelming when they look at it, but they're just seeing that line that they're reading. Yeah.
Okay. And how about ADHD?
ADHD is more of they're hyperactive. Yeah. But it doesn't mean because the child is too jumpy, it is ADHD.
Yeah, of course.
So this one comes about, they have challenges with focusing on a task. They have challenges in finishing a task. They are all over the place, and then it is made worse when they're given something like a soda or a sweet. So their energy doubles.
Sugar rush.
So that sugar rush now doubles everything. So they're all over the place. If you're in class, the teacher is teaching, they will blurt out an answer and say this and that, such things. So basically they just have attention deficit. So focusing on a particular task is too much for them. Yeah. So you find now you have to, for you to handle them, you have to break down the tasks into maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes, so that by the time they're bored of whatever is happening, something else, moving on to something else. Yeah. So that you can sustain their attention and focus.
What are some of the interventions you use to help these children as a teacher and as an expert?
As a teacher, when they come to school, of course, they come in a mainstream classroom. Yeah. So you'll depending on where they're at, their challenge, is it a learning gap, or is it dyslexia, autism, or whatever it is that they're facing? So first of all is to observe the child. That, like now when they come to your class as a teacher in a new academic year, you take the first 2 weeks and observe. How are they behaving? How are they socializing? How are they participating in class? Whole class discussions, small group discussions. And then from there now you can start telling where the difficulties are coming in. So you have to be very observant to know how they also learn. Because again, in a class, if a class of 20, not everybody is learning the same way. So you've got to understand their learning styles so that you can now know that child X has a difficulty, or child Y has a learning gap. Then from there, of course, now to assist them, you'll have differentiated instruction, because now you have learned their capabilities. So the one who is struggling, you give them some, you have the objective that you're teaching, but their work will not be the same as the high achiever in that class. So that's how you differentiate the instruction. We are all going to get to meet the objective of the day, but differently, in terms of either content, in terms of how, if it is maths, how am I arriving at the answer, and in terms of how difficulty the work is. Is it challenging, and how, to what extent? Am I going to give the high achiever word problems? Am I going to challenge them extra? So that is that difference in terms of the output and the achieving the goal. But at the end of the day, we have all done we have done the objective, all of us, but differently. So there's differentiated instruction. And then for those who are extreme, like autistic children, again, they usually go through a psychoeducation assessment. So the minute that report is brought to you as a teacher or the learning support teacher, they have to look at the findings and the recommendations. How does this child learn? so that as you're teaching, you tailor their learning around their recommendations.
Yeah.
So those ones now will assist you to be able to handle them in class, because now they'll not get bored. Everybody will be learning. So if the autistic child needs a shadow person, now a shadow person is one who is going to sit with the child to assist them day to day. Because like I said, the autistic children will have maybe challenges in communication or challenges in social, so it depends on the spectrum where are they at. So some will be okay, they can do things by themselves. Some will need a shadow person to assist them.
A shadow person is an extra teacher?
Yeah, an extra teacher for them.
Yeah.
Assigned to them by the parent. Of course, the school monitors or the learning support teacher will monitor them, and the class teacher, so that they're also helping the child to meet the objectives of the day of the lesson. So this person works with the child. Yeah. If their challenges are in socialization, they will help them to socialize. If they have academic gaps, they will help them. When the teacher is teaching, they now break the lesson down to them slowly by slowly. So now it depends again, where are you on the spectrum? Yeah.
Okay.
So apart from that, when it comes to exams, again, you give modifications in terms of if you're autistic, do you need more time? If the others are doing it in 1 hour, am I giving you an extra 25 minutes or 15 minutes? What kind of assistance in terms of if it's a maths paper, am I giving you a number line? Am I giving you a number square? Something that will help you to be able to do the paper. Yeah. Am I going to read for you and then you answer the question? Because that is the much you can do during assessments. You can just read for them. If they can, you can read for them and they understand and they answer, that is fine. Sometimes you find you read for them and you also scribe for them. So that means that they have challenges with writing. Yeah. So whatever they will tell you during that assessment is what you will write exactly how they say it. So it's not that during assessment they get an advantage. It's not an advantage. You're just giving them accommodations for them to be able to do that exam. Yeah.
So what I'm getting from you is, when as a teacher you notice that a child has a struggle or has, like over years, like the previous teacher complained of something, now the current teacher is also seeing the same challenge, you recommend for an assessment.
Yes, an assessment is recommended. And of course, by the time you're doing that assessment, you've sat down with the parent. Yeah. You're all agreeing that these are the challenges so-and-so is facing.
So you tell the parent, we've noticed this, and the parent also says, it's true, I've also noticed. Yeah.
And of course, when they go to the psychoeducationist, they really do a lot of digging. They will start all the way from conception, how the child was born and all that. So those ones now, the psychoeducationist will ask such kind of questions. Okay. And then they will go and look at the child at home. Okay. In their home environment, how do they relate with the parents, if they have siblings, if they have aunties or nannies that they live with, how do they relate at home with such people? How do the routines that are at home, how do they go through the day with such kind of a routine? Then from there, they will look at the child in school, in class, when the teacher is teaching, how is the child behaving? They'll look at maths and English lessons and probably just spend the day, depending on the timetable of the day. So they'll just be there to observe how is the child behaving in a maths lesson, how is the child behaving in an English lesson, if there's a science lesson, if there's an outdoor lesson like a PE lesson, how are they behaving in all those scenarios? And then from there, the child goes to their offices, because usually most of them will have sort of like a play area where now they can now assess the child one-on-one. So all those findings from those different settings are usually put together, and then recommendations are written. Yeah. So that's where now you'll be told either the child will need a shadow person to assist them in this area, maybe their social area, their communication area, or maybe just academics. Yeah.
And they're the ones who will notice which spectrum, if it's for autism, which spectrum it is.
And also they will also always tell you that, which is true, no two autistic people are the same. That's why it's a spectrum. Yeah. So even if there are 10 of them, everybody is different. There are those who are having challenges with socialization, others are having challenges with communication, others are very good in maths, but English is a challenge. Others are interested in outdoor activities. So you can't really say that it's a one size fits all. So that's why they look at them in all those different scenarios, at home, in school, outside. How do they make friends? All those things, so that when the report is being written, it's quite comprehensive.
Yeah. So at what age would you say or recommend that the children be assessed?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends, because when I look at how we were brought up by our parents, they would go shaking things in front of us, in the ear, moving things like this, talking to you.
Yeah.
And children of nowadays, slightly they're not brought up the same way. They are brought up in apartments, in closed environments. They're exposed to a screen very early. So some of them even develop virtual autism, in terms of they're just glued to the TV or to a screen somewhere. So
there's virtual autism?
Yeah, there's virtual autism. In terms of you're just receiving. They just receive the info, but they don't talk.
Yeah.
So that way they can develop that virtual autism. Probably they were just okay, but because of too much screen exposure, now they develop that. So you find we have parents who, when they come to church or when they go to a public gathering, they always have a phone or an iPad or a tablet. So when the child starts disturbing,
watch cartoon.
Watch this, and the child will be quiet for even 2-3 hours.
And the
Very
parents
quiet.
can do what they want.
Yeah, the parent will be okay, they're very happy, but creating a problem, especially when the child is 2 years, 3 years. So that kind of autism, virtual autism, it might be there, but you're the one who has created it as a parent, and you didn't know you created it.
Yeah.
But now these other ones who are already born that way, because it is a neurodivergent disability.
I was actually to ask whether
it's the way the brain functions.
Okay.
So that one, at 2 years, you may see the signs, but you would want to wait and see what happens. So you find some parents now will take the child to daycare, to a play group, to this. So you're trying to look out for whether it's because the child is alone in the house, not exposed to other children, they're not having that interaction with other children of their age. So by the time you're really saying that now we need to go for a psychoeducation assessment, probably the child is 4 years.
Yeah.
And maybe now again, something else that autistic children do is they never step their feet down. They will always tiptoe.
Even when they're old, like 4 years?
Yeah.
Oh.
They will always tiptoe. And if it is actually that autism, if they're on the spectrum, it will be with them throughout their life. Because autism is with you throughout your life. So you just learn how to live with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you recommend, as a specialist, you recommend for an assessment if you notice some of those things, right?
Yeah.
Are there parents who say, no, I don't want this because they refuse outrightly, saying that, no, my child is okay, I don't agree with the teacher, and maybe change schools, for example?
Yeah, they do. Because every parent, especially the mothers, anytime they are expecting a child, they're expecting a child who will hit the milestones.
Yeah.
So it's never in their mind that the child will have a challenge or a difficulty or a disability. It's just a natural thing for all mothers.
Yeah.
But now when you find yourself with that kind of a child, it could be cerebral palsy, it could be now autistic, it could be ADHD. Of course, you're going to denial. And most of them will say, is it because I did this? Is it because I took this? But then we encourage them by telling them it's not your fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the child is born that way, and probably it could be a testimony for you at the end. But of course, they have challenges accepting. Everybody has challenges accepting negative things.
Yeah.
So it's a natural reaction that I know my child is not that way. So that is when you really encourage the parent. Yes, the child is going to school, but please, can we do this? Please, can we do this? We need to do this. I have noticed this. What have you noticed at home? So that kind of a conversation. So you keep talking to them until such a time when they are now ready to do that psychoeducational assessment.
Yeah.
I've ever dealt with a parent who, the child came in year 1, They had their own challenges. It was ADHD, some dyslexia, and a few other things. Sometimes a child can have multiple challenges.
Yeah.
So as a teacher, you're seeing there's something is not adding up. So the parent at first was like, I think we need to do tuition, because that is the first reaction.
Yeah.
So when you start saying that your child is having challenges in maths or reading or this, the first reaction is maybe tuition teacher will help.
Yeah.
So you just allow them, because they have to go through that. So I allowed it. I told them it's okay, you can try out tuition. So we tried out tuition. We retaught the concepts, especially the phonics. They were retaught again, but the child was just not getting it. Then it graduated into the child having a panic attack when you have assessments. And anytime they hear it's an exam time, the child would get there and they're breathing heavily. So now he was now realizing that I don't know.
Yeah.
So now it now gives birth to many other things. Because when I'm with my age mates and I realize I don't know how to read, my reaction will be start panicking. I'm breathing heavily and all that. So in year 1, the child went through that, and the mother was really in denial. I told her it's okay. We can go through this. It's a journey now we have started. So every parents-teacher meeting, I would hint to her that, this needs to happen. We have done this. This is what he can do, but I feel we are missing something. So somebody needs to come in and tell us, how does this child learn, or what are we missing? Because we have taught the concepts, retaught the concepts, but we are not getting anywhere. The progress is very minimal. So we got to year 2, the child now has difficulties with writing. When he writes, he presses really hard until 3-4 pages down, you can actually read what he was writing.
And that's a problem?
It's also a problem.
Okay.
It's a challenge. So you see now you're realizing there are other challenges. Yes, you're seeing the signs of dyslexia because, like I said, if you're not a qualified psychoeducationist, you can't label the child. So it's only done by a professional. So for us, we are just looking out for the signs. You're seeing this, you're seeing that. So I kept on telling her, we need to do this. This now is happening, So it's just building up. So by the time this lady done the assessment for the son, the boy was in year 3, actually going to year 4. But I was happy the assessment was done. We had really tried our best in terms of accommodating, so it was trial and error. You're seeing this, it is a sign for dyslexia, so you try and work around that. But you really don't know that it's dyslexia you're dealing with. He's showing signs of dysgraphia, so you're also trying to help him, because I remember I used to give him a tissue paper, and so that now when we are practicing, so that we reduce that pressing, pressing the pencil too hard.
That's called dysgraphia?
Yes, where you have a problem with your fine motor skills and writing.
Okay.
So I would give him a piece of tissue. Then I tell him, now can you write on the tissue? Of course, with the tissue, if you press very hard,
it will tear.
So he kept on trying his best. We started with the hard serviettes. Those ones, at least they don't tear easily. So you keep on making it softer and softer and softer. So with time, he now reduced the pressing. He would press, but at least not 3-4 pages into the book. So when they did the assessment, they found out he has dyslexia, and it was a relief in terms of all that we had been trying, trial and error. At least it had helped in some way. But you see now the time taken was too long. Was too long in terms of now he's now in year 4, and it has been a trial and error, year 1, year 2, year 3. But the beauty with such challenges, the small steps that the child makes, even if it's you're doing it as trial and error, you're trying this before you get the real recommendations from the psychoeducationist, they're always fulfilling to the teacher. So at least by the time he was going to year 4, he could read. So we had tried all those things in terms of covering the text, reading line by line. So at least he wasn't really wasted. Because again, as a teacher, when a parent is going through that, it's your duty to continue teaching the child, trying out different strategies, different methods, just to assist them until when the parent is ready for the assessment. So it doesn't mean that because the parent is having challenges, accepting that the child has challenges, now the teaching and learning stops. You try your best just to try out and see how far will this child go. When the recommendations come, you realize, oh, I did this, so there's some progress somewhere. Yeah. So imagine now, had we now decided, okay, we're waiting for this parent to agree. You can imagine now the child is wasted for 2 years.
For a long time.
So it's as a teacher, when the parent is still going through that phase of should I not, should I change? Some change even schools. Yeah, but you still try your best to keep in touch. And if a school that the child is going to asks for a living certificate, it's always good as a teacher to indicate that challenge in a positive way. So that now, if the person is keen in the other school, they will notice that we need to look out for this. So that again, the child is not wasted. The new teacher in the new school trying to learn the child.
Okay. And that I'm taking it as a challenge, one of the challenges you experience as a teacher. And now in your role as a SENCO, what major challenge have you experienced as the one who is, getting that from other teachers, and you have to communicate to parents about it, getting it from parents and communicating it to actually the whole school?
So as a SENCO, the first thing that happens is stigmatization. So the minute a child has challenges or difficulties or whatever it is, depending on the context that you are in, it's the stigma that comes in. So that stigma now, it's now up to the SENCO now to try and, help the teacher, the parent, the student, the administration to get through it. When it comes to the parent, and they're told your child has ABCD, ABCD challenges are presenting themselves. Of course, the first thing will be like, if it's a couple, they'll be like, no, it's not from our side, it's from your side. So there's that war which goes on at home. Then now in school, the teacher that may not know how to handle such children, because not everybody is trained in special education. So now you have again to help the teacher. How do they deal with this child in terms of behavior? Because all this comes in, the behavior, the academics, the social. It's in that child. So you're trying to bring up a holistic child because they're spending more time in school. So now you have to assist the teacher in terms of understanding this child. How do they learn? How will they handle them in maths? How will they handle them in English? How will they handle them when they go out to play? When they have behavior challenges, when something has happened and now there's an issue to be sorted out among the children, and they bring the case to you. How will you handle this child who has a challenge? Because some of them may not be able to communicate properly. So again, you're trying to safeguard them and to protect them, and also to be fair. So there are so many things which are going on, and the teacher may not be able to handle everything. And then the other students, how will they engage with this child? Because sometimes children just being children. Probably you don't know how to speak very fast. You can't defend yourself very fast. So anything that happens, they'll always point so-and-so, so-and-so. So as a teacher, again, you have to know when they're saying so-and-so all the time, why are they saying so-and-so? So you have to help the teacher, the parent, the students to be able to understand this child. Because it is not their fault that they're like that. But not that they can't, they don't have something to say. They may just not say it quickly as the others. So they need that time. Somebody needs to understand them. Somebody needs to stand up for them. And also to train them to stand up for them, because the end game is they're going to fit in society. Whatever place they find themselves, they should be able to fit in. So in as much as you're helping them at maybe 3 years, at 4 years, you're growing them up. You're helping them to grow up to be able to fit in society.
Okay. If a child notices that for example, they are struggling like with reading, they can't read completely, have you ever experienced a case where other children are laughing at them because it's maybe a simple text of Mr. and Mrs. Kamau, but they can't actually read that comprehension and answer questions? Have you ever noticed that maybe some children laugh at them, and then how do you help this child not to have, low self-esteem and to be so kept to themselves and to hate school.
So that one usually goes back to how is the teacher handling the class, class management. So if the children know that in our class, we all belong to our teacher, and our teacher will treat us fairly, and we also have to treat each other fairly. We have to give each other a chance to participate. We also have to respect each other's opinions. So it goes back to how did the teacher lay down the classroom expectations. So if they are well laid out, the laughing that so-and-so doesn't know how to read will not happen. But if the expectations are not clearly laid out, that's when you'll have children laughing. Sometimes it can even turn into bullying, subtle bullying, and then full-blown bullying. So it goes back to how has the teacher laid down the expectations that in my class, we respect each other. This is what happens. When you want to answer a question, you raise up your hand. When so-and-so if somebody is struggling to say the answer, you give them time to gather their thoughts and say the answer. If they are not participating, because children with challenges tend again to be shy, they will not raise up their hand.
They don't volunteer.
So if they're not volunteering the answers, as a teacher, it is good to just ask them a question you know that they will be able to answer. You prompt them. So you're not going to ask a question to embarrass them, but you're going to ask a question so that they feel part of the class. So that at the end of the lesson, everybody said something, contributed something in that lesson. So that way, with time, everybody knows that I am important in this class, and my ideas, my thoughts count. So the laughing will not be there. But in case they do laugh at each other, it is always good again to correct them. In terms of, you just explain to them that we are all different. And when you laugh at so-and-so, it makes them feel this and this. It is not good for you're hurting their feelings, such things. And children do understand when you explain to them. So if you keep explaining that to them, and also at home, you also let the parent know that so this and this happened in class, and your child did this and this. So please encourage them that when somebody makes a mistake, you don't burst into laughter. You try and help them out. So with such kind of correction in a loving way, the laughing at each other will not be there. And in fact, you find that they will be even willing to help that child who is struggling. They'll always be telling, oh, so and so, come, let's read. Let's read. Let me help you to read. So it depends again as a teacher. How did you lay down the classroom expectations?
So to teachers watching this, you have a role to play to make sure that children don't finally hate school just because they are not able to do some of these things. How do you create awareness to other children to make them know that actually we are all different, we learn differently, and also to other teachers who might maybe come to a school setting and they don't have that training background of a special educationalist? How do you create awareness to them so as to accommodate everyone?
I'll start with the teachers. For teachers, it's quite easy. You get to do for them professional development trainings. So in terms of you'll prepare some training about autism, what to look out for, how to accommodate these children in the class. If it's ADHD, just basically some tips on how to handle those children, how do you differentiate instruction, how do you accommodate them during assessments, how do you deal with them when they have this kind of behavior, do you need a behavior chart to help them shape their behavior, to help them understand their emotions, such things. So we do that through professional development because special needs is wide. It's very wide. And we cannot say that one person knows it all. Probably as you're sharing in a group, you find that somebody has an idea that could work. So through those kind of trainings and workshops, you find that you get to exchange ideas, and the teacher now learns, or rather the teachers learn how to deal with such children because they are there in our society. Long time ago, they were, I think, the system of education here in Kenya sort of like didn't emphasize on such kind of challenges.
We were learning in the same
Yes.
class setting.
Nobody really cared.
If you don't get
Yeah,
it, you repeat.
Yeah, you repeat. That was the system.
Yeah.
Then. So now we realize that parents are informed. You know, there's a lot of exchange in information internationally. There are these programs which create awareness, autism awareness, ADHD awareness, dyslexia awareness. So everybody wants to get to know what is this. There are such courses in the teacher training. So at least there will be a course for the teachers to just get to know that in a class you can have a child with this and this. So that has really helped so far. So what we do is just that continuous professional development, just to remind each other that when this child is like this, this and this happens. Sometimes you may not have experienced such kind of a child in class, but it doesn't mean that now the child is taken out of school. So we just sit down and say, okay, this is what we're experiencing, so what strategies are we going to use with this child? And then when it comes now to the children, again, you create an awareness in a friendly way. In terms of, it is Autism Week, so when you see, okay, there's a way you explain to children in terms of, again, you don't want it to turn into bullying, because it depends.
Or labeling.
Yes, or labeling. So they'll be thinking, oh, so-and-so is behaving like this. Hey, you're autistic. So they'll even turn into...
Or they start asking, am I autistic also?
They start asking. So there's a way you create an awareness in children in terms of, they just understand that we are different. Okay, some of us are short, some of us are tall, some of us are plump, some of us are thin. So you approach it from that angle, and we learn differently, and we have to accommodate each other. When you don't know the answer, such kind of conversations. During, you can have circle time with them, or you can have a day when they get to experience such. Sometimes if they need to, you want them to understand how somebody who is... because autistic children usually have, sometimes they usually have sensory overload. So you want them to understand, how does somebody feel? So sometimes you'll come up with ways of, probably you tell them, you look for a way for them to walk a day or an hour as that kind of a child.
Maybe you can give us an example.
So for example,
what you've done,
you will maybe put peppers inside their clothes so that they feel how uncomfortable it is. When somebody is feeling that way, or when they wear different shoes, different, so they're just things that you do that just create that awareness that they know that people are different. Sometimes you even ask them to maybe close one eye and try and read like somebody who can't see clearly.
To try and read.
Yes,
with
or
one
you
eye.
make the writing so small and you tell them to stand at a distance and try and read. You're creating some kind of awareness in them so that they know, okay, if somebody can't see or they're visually impaired, it's not time for me to point at them and burst out in laughter. I should be able to know that they have a challenge, they're okay, they're just like me but different. So how do I treat them? How do I become a friend of theirs? Helpful to them, such things. So once they get to understand such, they're always good to go.
Yeah.
And then children, they tend to be okay around such children compared to adults. They will accommodate each other compared to adults. Because if you look out, when you put a group of children in the neighborhood to play, when you look at them from afar, there's always that one who will come out to take the leadership role. There's one who will do this, and there's one who will notice, oh, so-and-so is crying. We need to put them in the game. Actually, or you'll hear them saying, so if so-and-so is not happy with the rules of the game, they change the rules to accommodate each other.
Yeah,
so if you observe children, it's very easy for them to accommodate. They usually don't even realize that so-and-so has a challenge. They're like, we are going to play. So we will accommodate so-and-so. Even if they have a physically disabled child there, they'll always find a game to accommodate them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So if it's football, they will look for a way of making sure that this one gets to play that football. Yeah.
So that's why it's good to start explaining this to children when they are young, so that they get it, they accommodate, so that even when they grow and become adults, they'll be able to accommodate each other.
Yeah, the kindness will
will grow,
in them and should be a part of them.
Okay, so what advice would you give to a parent who probably has been approached by a teacher to be told that their child has this and this challenge, or who has actually started noticing but doesn't actually know how to clearly bring it out? What advice would you give them?
Let me start with the teacher, because we are the ones who stay with the children for the longest time.
Yeah.
And we are the ones who will see quite a number of things. And sometimes when you have that parents-teacher conference and you tell the parent, your child is A, B, C, D, and they're like, my child?
This is
are you sure you're talking about the person I know in the house?
Yeah.
So there's a way that you package whatever it is you want to tell a parent. And of course, it's good practice to always start with the positive. Tell the parent what is positive about their child. Where they're having challenges, again, you put it in a nice way. And how have you been trying to help them through their challenges? Because again, if you're the parent and I tell you I'm having challenge A, B, C, D with your child, and then now the next question in your mind will be, so what do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
as a parent.
but if I tell you, your child, this is positive about your child, I'm having challenges here with them, and this is what I've been doing to help them through their challenges, at least that parent rests assured that somebody is taking care of my child, somebody loves my child, somebody wants to see the best come out of my child. So it becomes easier now to start pushing for that assessment to be done, if at all it will go that direction. But when we come in and we just throw we say the child is ABCD, and then the parent wonders, so what exactly am I supposed to do with this information? Yet you're the expert there.
Yeah.
So it's always good to package it nicely. And then for the parents who are told such, it's always good to listen.
Yeah.
Because yes, your child is doing 1, 2, 3 in the house. So it's always good to listen, try and observe, you know. And again, it's not time for you to start now comparing your child to others. We're not saying you compare, but just observe your child's behavior. Your how are they doing their homework? You know, can they explain to you what they are doing? How are they communicating with you? Can they look at you in the eye? You know, such things. So you also listen and start making your observations. And so you keep on comparing notes with the teacher. So that when that time comes, now we are pushing for an assessment, or we want an assessment done, we are not reading from different pages. It's something that we have all observed. Because there's something called an individual plan, and it comes in place when the teacher and the parent have same concerns about a child. It helps to come up with that plan. But the plan becomes hard to come up with if the teacher's concerns and the parents' concerns are miles apart. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's always important to listen to the teacher, to make an effort to attend the parents-teacher meetings, any opportunity to go to school, be it for a Christmas concert, for a sports day, for whatever meeting that is called. It's always
Swimming
good
gala.
to, those small things, whatever age the child is, because again, parents tend to be there for the nursery children, FS1, FS2, year 1, year 2. When the child gets to 10 years, parents are so busy.
We assume that they are already old.
Yes. They don't need your emotional support there.
Yeah.
So when they go to high school, you're even hardly there. You even assign somebody to drop them to school.
Yeah.
There's a driver. Take so-and-so to school. When it is closing, they go and pick so-and-so from school. So the child hardly sees you. You're not even there. Those swimming galas, those sports days, those small events, you know, Father's Day, Mother's Day. You don't, when the school calls parents for such kind of functions, you're not there. But when they were young, hey, you were there on time, on point. You know, even ask for permission from work to attend such.
Yeah.
So I would tell parents that it's important for you to be present at every age, in every class your child goes to, because your child will never be in that class again. The minute they are gone through year 1, they are moving to year 2. They'll never go back to year 1 to do those activities.
Yeah.
So when you're invited for a sports day, for what, it's always good to show up and support them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even when they're in high school, they will never be in high school again.
Mm-hmm.
They are growing, and moving on in life.
Yeah.
So it's always good to show up for your child.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sole responsibility why God gave you that
Yeah,
child.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
important to create time for them.
Yeah.
Mm.
That almost sounds like a parting shot. But before that, are there misconceptions towards some of these learning disabilities and learning needs, such that we as parents fear to be told that your child has this? Is it because there is a stereotype or a misconception or a label that we will be given for the rest of our lives?
Yeah, the misconceptions are there because for a teacher who is not informed about the different challenges, they may start to assume that the child is lazy. So it doesn't mean because I can't read, I am lazy. It doesn't mean because I find it hard to do maths, to work with numbers, that I don't know anything. So it is important not to label the child in that way, because yes, they have a learning challenge, but they always have something to do. I may not be able to read, but I'm very good in maths.
Yeah.
Or I'm a very good orator. Or I can, there's always something. So it's always important to look at the strength of the child and work with the strength of the child, as you also help them to improve on their weaknesses. So if we all look at, you have a learning challenge, automatically you're lazy. We have even others who are obese. But probably the obese now is something else again, because it is a challenge for that child.
Yeah.
But they do not want to be obese. So sometimes you find, yes, they're obese, but there's something they can do. They are very good painters, they're very good in art, they can do some sculpture.
Music.
They are very good in music, they can play an instrument. So you always have to look out for, yes, my child has a challenge, but what can they do very well? Don't focus again on this challenge. That is also something else that parents tend to do. So you've been told your child has ABCD, and then now you start focusing on that challenge.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on the positive. So it's always good to focus on the positive and not the challenge.
Okay.
Even the teachers, it's always good to focus on the positive of that child. They cannot write. What can they do? If you ask them, can they tell you what they have learned?
Yeah.
So if they can tell you what they have learned, then learning has gone on. So the only challenge they have is they can't write. But now if you focus on, I want you to write, probably that child will never write. And if we look at the society, some of the big companies we have, some of the successful individuals we have, somebody like Richard Branson, he had his own challenges.
Yeah.
I don't even think he finished university. I'm not so sure about that. But can you imagine now if somebody focused on his challenges? He wouldn't be among the people who are having a positive impact in society. So it's always important to look at what is positive in this child. How can we assist them in this challenge?
Yeah.
We have others who have dyslexia, and you find that they're actually there in the society. They're very big people in the society. So such people, you'll find when they want to go and give a speech, the autistic, there's this guy who is autistic, can't remember his name, but anytime he wants to go and give a speech, he takes like 2 weeks to practice. It is written down. He has to keep on rehearsing. So when he stands there for maybe 5-10 minutes, you would think, hey, this guy is very okay. But you don't know the work he has put in before he comes to stand in front of an audience. And people will clap and cheer him. But he has learned how to work with, not actually survive, to work on that challenge. So he knows, okay, I'm autistic, I will have a challenge, looking at people in the audience, I will have a challenge expressing myself. So what do? And I have to give a speech. So I start preparing early. So they'll prepare something short, rehearse it over and over, and when they stand there, they're very confident. You're like, wow, they're so confident. Yet you don't know how much work has gone in by the time they're standing there. Some even take a whole month just to do that. So it's good to focus on the strength. And this challenge that is presenting itself, how do we help you to work around it, because it will not go away.
Yeah.
If you're autistic, you're autistic. We are not saying that one day you'll reach somewhere and the autism has disappeared.
Outgrown.
You will not outgrow it.
Yeah.
It is a part of you.
Yeah.
But as you grow up, because when you're diagnosed when you're young, you really don't know. They really don't know what is happening. But as they grow up, as they mature, they get to understand that this is what I have. So how do I work around it? Some people are stammerers. You know, they will stutter. They can't talk in front of people. But you'll find if they're given time and they're given strategies and they know, okay, I can't talk in front of people. No, I can't give a speech of like that. If you ask them a question, it is no, they can't just come out. But when they are given time and they are given the strategies and they have even learned how to, the coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
they'll stand in front of people and say something. So it's all about how do we work through those challenges. Yeah.
Okay. When you're talking, I'm just looking back at my upbringing and I'm thinking, when I was, of course I did 844, and we were just doing one thing, like in class, all of us are doing the same lesson, all of us are doing the same exam, and I'm just visualizing some of my classmates, some of those who are told to repeat so many times, to repeat classes just because they can't understand a concept, or just because they can't actually talk and defend themselves. Could it be that they were also going through one of those challenges?
Yeah, they were actually going through the challenges because I also went through the 844 system. And I remember when I graduated and then I was given a class. I was given a class 1 in the 844 system. And the class had 55 children. So I realized at that point that it's quite easy. Well, now when I look back, it's quite easy for a teacher to miss out that child who has challenges. So in my class at that time, there was this child who had a hearing problem. He didn't have the hearing aid, but the challenge was there. So if you would talk to him from the right side, he wouldn't hear what you're saying. So you're calling him and he's just busy going on with whatever he's doing. But when you come on his left side and you call him, he looks at you. So when I'm teaching, he would always stand the left ear towards me. So I kept wondering, why does he always sit like this? At one time I told him, can you face in front? So he will face in front, yes, but when you start talking, you realize his head is tilted again. So I kept observing and I was like, So I tried on the right side, he doesn't hear. I tried on the left side, he hears it very well. So I told the mom, probably you need to have his ears checked. And the moms of those days, mwalimu amesema, it's okay. So nothing was done. He went to grade 2.
Or he will be deemed to be indisciplined.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
beaten.
He went to class 2. The same thing kept on. And at that time, you are moving, as a teacher, you move your children from class 1 to class 2 to class 3.
You go with them.
In that school.
Yeah.
So you leave them when they're going to year 4, you go for another group again in class 1. So in class 2, it was the same. In class 3, it was the same. And I kept on telling the mom, something is not okay. So she came to understand that when the child was in class 3. So one time, she came to pick him. So as they were walking home, they were walking ahead with his friend, and the mom was behind. So they were on the path, and then there was a road. So this boy, because his right ear is the one which has a problem, he was not hearing when the car was hooting, because they were walking. You know how children walk. They're on the path and they forget they're on the path and they will go walking and they find themselves in the middle of the road because probably whatever they're talking about is quite interesting. So there was a driver who was hooting and the boy did not move. His friend jumped back to the sidewalk, but he remained there until his mom was like, you can't hear? So when the mom came on the right side, she called him. He did not respond. But when he called him from the left side, he actually responded. So the mom was like, oh, so what the teacher has been telling me is actually true.
Yeah.
So now she went to the house and she was talking to him from the right side, talking to him from the left side. So he realized, this ear is not okay on the right side. So they went for checkup and all those auditory tests and what have you. Unfortunately, the ear could not be saved. So
it was done.
so it was completely done. So now the doctors were telling her, if you had brought him when he was in grade 1 or class 1, would have done something. But now there's nothing much we can do. The only thing we can do is just to give a hearing aid, but it doesn't mean that he will be hearing all the time. It's just there. He was diagnosed with that degenerative kind of challenge, which with time it will be completely deaf. The ear will be completely deaf. So they just gave the hearing aid for some time, but the mom was told with time it will not even be necessary because the ear will be completely gone. So such things.
Yeah, that sounds like one of the stories of, I wanted to ask you actually, one of a successful story you've worked with. That sounds like one of them.
Successful stories are quite a number.
Yeah.
The one I always remember is the one who made me want to do special education.
Yeah, let's hear.
Because that time I had now joined the international system.
Yeah.
And I was given a class 1, year 1. So there was this boy who really loved maths. It was his favorite subject. So during maths lesson, we are not fighting, we are not, he's participating, he's doing everything. But when it comes to English, hey, the guy wants to drink water, he wants to go to the toilet, he wants to draw, he wants, I don't know, to do this. He just wants to do any other thing other than English.
Yeah.
And more so if you bring about if it was a comprehension, he will be all over the place. Miss can I, Miss can I, Miss can I, Miss can I. So with time, I came to realize, English is not your favorite. So anytime there was an English lesson, so I would tell him, go to the toilet, take water, get your pencil, get your colors, get everything I know that he will ask for. So I would give him about 5-6 minutes to do all that.
Yeah.
So when he comes, now sit. But still you'd realize he would be jittery on the chair. So I realized, this one, there's something wrong with this English.
Yeah.
And then now digging deeper, he had challenges with reading, he had challenges with writing. And his mom was aware. The beauty is his mom was aware because they had come from the US, so she knew something was not okay. There was a challenge somewhere. So he went through the assessments, so he would go through the recommendations and accommodate his learning through that. So that is how he ended up learning properly. Wherever he is right now, he must be in the university somewhere in this world. Yeah. So that is that is the person who inspired me to want to work with such children, because the little steps that they make, the beauty with special needs, you don't look at bigger picture, you look at the baby steps.
Yeah.
So for example, if you are ADHD, can you sit down for 5 minutes and do something? That's an achievement.
Yeah.
Now we move on, can you sit now for 10 minutes? That's an achievement. But we don't look at, can you sit down for 1 hour and do this and this? Of course they can't. But if they can sit down for 5 minutes and do something perfectly well, that is good. They have put in a lot of effort, and that is what you appreciate. But again, you don't look at, did you sit for 1 hour? And you sat for 1 hour and that you did not even do what I want. That is not what you focus on. You focus on the baby steps.
Yeah.
If the child has challenges with reading, you look at, do you know the sounds? Yes. Can we start blending? You're blending, yes. Can you read a simple sentence? Yes. So we don't look at, can he read a whole text? No, we don't look at, can you read a whole text? We start from the baby steps, the sounds, the blending, segmenting, simple sentences. We come now to maybe a paragraph like that. Can you answer the simple comprehension questions? Now can we start moving on to the questions that need inference, the ones that need you to cite evidence, the ones that need you now to tell me more about how do you the feelings of the characters in the story, such kind of questions.
Yes, yeah.
But you don't start from up there. You start from the simple, and you celebrate every little step, every effort that the child puts in. You don't focus on perfection. You focus on those little steps that they're making.
Okay. Do you have contacts of organizations that do assessment that you would share? Maybe we can share them at the end of the video, so that if there is a parent watching and they would want an assessment done to their child because of one or two reasons, we can recommend some of those.
I have some contacts.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly parents go to KISE.
KISE?
Yeah,
Yeah.
KISE has all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's able to do those kind of assessment.
Mm-hmm.
But from the international system,
Mm-hmm.
they usually look for private people who do the practice privately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I may not have a contact per se.
Mm-hmm.
But generally for those in the CBC and the child has challenges,
Mm-hmm.
KISE works very well with such.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. We are getting to hear some of these learning needs that some children might be struggling with. And as a parent, if you're concerned and you would like to know more about this, Jacqueline has told us. KISE does some of those assessments, so you can actually contact them on the Thika Road. Before we end this show, please give the parents watching you a parting shot from all this conversation.
All right, thank you very much. So my parting shot would be that we look at the children that we have as individuals. Let's not look at them as a group. Mm-hmm. And whatever you miss at home, the teacher will pick it in school. And it's always important to listen to what the teacher is saying. If the child is in nursery and the nursery teacher picks something or misses something, the FS1 teacher will always pick it up. So it's also important for teachers to always look out for those challenges and address them as early as possible. The earlier the child is assessed, the better. The recommendations that will help assist in the intervention of whatever it is that they're having challenges in. If the diagnosis is done very late, again, it becomes now a race against time to help the child achieve those milestones. So the earlier the assessment is done, the easier it becomes to do the intervention and to have different strategies for the child to cope with whatever it is they're having challenges in. Otherwise, all the best in parenting.
And as a teacher also, just to look out for, what you were able to achieve yesterday and today you've improved, so that's success. Okay, thank you so much, Jacqueline, for coming in again and to talk about the learning needs. I have really learned a lot as a parent and as a teacher. And for parents watching and teachers watching as well, I would like to know your takeaway from this conversation. Please write on the comment section, and also my contact is on the screen. Let's hear what you have taken away from this conversation. Once again, thank you for coming, and my takeaway from this conversation is that children are so different, so let's treat them individually, not as a whole group if you're a teacher, and not as a whole group even as a parent. If you have 5 of them, each of them is different. Let's handle them, don't compare, let's just handle them individually, differently, and even as we parent, it will be a success story. I am so happy to host you today. My name is Frida Wasonga, and it's a bye for now.